there have been some really freaking cool changes to the branded app lately. So, two things that you can do is now you can offer, like before, it was almost like you were penalized if you had on an app links out to paid offers. That is no longer applicable. You can do the app offers through the app store, or you can have things linked just from your site itself. But now with a branded app, rather than kind of being stuck with this old way where it was Kajabi's way that your app was designed, you can create these screens, which are essentially is like building an app website, which is unbelievably cool. You can move them around, and so these screens here will appear under your navigation menu, so you can have specific things showing however you want. You can design that. So I've created this one here. It's a little light on, but I'm certainly going to be looking at adding other things, which is basically like a home for free resources. So that when someone signs up, they can go straight to there. You may or may not want to call it free, but you can then add different things into this screen. So you can choose the icon, you can choose the title for it, and you can add different sections to this. So you can add buttons, you can add like different icons. We can add a new section, so we can sorry, that's duplicating the section. So there's widgets that we can add. So you've got button, you can add a product. So with the product, it will be only show up if someone owns it, and if they don't own it, it will only show up if you have an app offer. So products may or may not be helpful. You can add a video, which is really, really cool. So you could add like a welcome one, and you could add a video to it. You can add an image, which is clickable. You can actually add embed code and put code in here, which can link out to other things. So this whole thing with the screens and the different widgets that you can add is like spectacularly cool. And it may be where you can add like pages of things that are relevant. If you are currently promoting something, like maybe if you are promoting a webinar or a training or a challenge or something else like that, you can create a screen for that. And we've got nice like options now. So we'll start with this design where you can actually design. So it's kind of like making a page. So we've got these things where we can add a variant to a screen. So you can have two different versions depending on if someone owns a product or not. So we could have it so that you are showing a page to all contacts, to subscribed customers, to not subscribed customers. Sorry, subscribed, so customers that they own something, or people who are just subscribed. You could show it to people who own a specific course or program. So you could have a variant of this that if they don't own it, so one could go to all contacts, and then you could create a second variant. So we could add a second variant where that variant is only showed to people who own a specific. So let's just say it was for BU. So the first variant could promote the product, and the second variant could be what people see if they are already belonging to that. And because we can do things like add images, we can add videos, buttons, like all of those things to these pages, we can make it look almost like a mini sales page within the app, which is pretty freaking awesome. You do need to be careful though of not doing too many things, because the more that you add in here, like if you add this screen, so we can add this one into here, it is going to add another option into the bottom. So personally, I think 5 would be about the maximum, but you can, and you don't have to delete it. You can just move it back into this other screens if you want to sort of rotate around through what you're doing. So by default, you're going to have this community and programs. Programs is essentially your library, but then you have the option to add these other sections to your page. So it may be a way to think about, when you get someone onto your app, what do you want them to do? Like, do you want them to join a free webinar, like to learn more about your company? Do you want them to, to give some kind of instant value and have something that, once they're on the app, essentially they're on your email list. So maybe you don't need them to actually subscribe to something again. I certainly think it's worth presenting offers, because if you see someone joins your app and then they sign up for 3 things straight away, like that's an indication that they're pretty interested. But being able to have that instant access to videos, to training resources, if someone is a member, you could actually create like a page So on my list of things to do is to create one for Kajabi 101 Quick Start members, where it's like directing you to resources that are available, the live replay hub, to the click by click tutorials, to the community, as well as going to the actual community as well. It's kind of like creating that little home hub for people. So if you've got a membership, that's an option. So there's going to be a whole lot of ways that you can do that. You've also got the custom links here, which show up down the bottom of your screen. So it's really easy for you to add different things into there if you want to get people, like I said, to sign up for one of your programs, to take them to to learn about your programs. So it may even be that you have a page, so you can rename this so it's not called programs, it's called courses or something. And then you have another tab that's like like a mini sales page for your programs, where you have a little bit of information and a link for them to go and join up. But any of the links or anything, so in this free one here, let's just say this make more money with Kajabi. So this is going to a web address, so you can actually send people to a specific URL. So you can send them to a URL, you can send them to a website page, to a landing page, even to your latest blog, or you could send them to another app screen. So that's where, creating those screens here is when you move them into other screens, you're taking them off the menu. But if you had screens where you're then having buttons on one of the ones that is there that then can direct to another screen, you are making basically a mini website version on your app. And then of course you can design it like 100% mobile first. You can make it, interactive within the app. So that is definitely some things that have changed within the branded app, which is, absolutely awesome. And I really love how they, are going to have that variation. If you don't have it already, I think it is in beta testing if it hasn't rolled out to people. But that's a great way to be able to choose what people see based on their circumstances. So yeah, this is one of the changes that I love a lot. The widgets are on something that's part of the screen. So when you go into it, you can add the widgets. So if we come into our option here and then go, there we go. So we've now gone into the widgets. So once you're in the widgets, like I said, you can add the products. It will only show the product up if someone owns it. The button here is just a regular button, and you can choose what type of button it is, the size of the button, and the alignment, and where the button goes. So you can choose whether it goes into an external browser or whether it opens up within the app itself. And then you've got all these other options as well. And then on your image, you've got your image, and then you've also got the link options for an image. You can have a gallery, so that's other ways that you can use that. So it's essentially being able to build like a full page, and I love it a lot. So it's nice to see these changes coming to the branded app, and it certainly makes it more worthwhile because you can really use your app as you would use a website to drive sales and drive signups, and you can link through to anything so people can actually purchase as well and nurture them through the buying cycle.